Hey guys, welcome back to the Adoptive Gallagher channel. Today you might notice that I am in a different spot than I normally am. Normally I'm in our little house in Nevada, and now I'm visiting my family in Florida, so that's my mom and dad's kitchen behind me. But we will continue on, doesn't matter where I am. So today I'm going to talk to you about the recent obstacle course race that my boyfriend Kevin and I did. It's called the Warrior Dash. And I figured I learned a lot of things from that race, and I wanted to share it with you guys if you decide to do any type of Warrior Dash, Tough Mudder, any kind of like muddy obstacle, organized obstacle course. I picked up a few tips while I was there, so I'm going to share them with you today. My first piece of advice is that if you want to film it, okay, so we used a couple pieces of equipment to film it. We had 2 GoPros, which I think the GoPro footage looked really good. One thing we used was a chest mount, which I just ordered off of Amazon. And it was good. It was not my favorite angle. A lot of it's like jumpy because you're wearing it and you're running and stuff, and it looks kind of like a video game. Your arms are running in front of you like that. This thing got so muddy. It just got covered. I'm gonna see if I can run it through the wash. I'm not sure if I can. I scrubbed this thing in my hotel bathroom afterward. It was just covered. But if I had to choose, we used the chest mount, and we also used a GoPole, or this one's called a Smart Tree GoPro pole, and it extends a lot. And I actually really enjoyed the footage from the pole because it just gave you a wider angle and you can see your face, so you're not just seeing your point of view. I really liked the footage from that. Obviously, this is still wet. It still has mud all over it. The drawback of the pole is that you have to hold it with one hand. The chest mount is hands-free, obviously. So you have to hold this with one hand. And Kevin was in charge of the pole, and he had to do most of the obstacles with one hand. So what I might recommend is bringing like a cheap fanny pack or something that will fit this to carry it without hands while you're doing some of the obstacles, because I think it got really difficult at some points. But like I said, the footage turned out really great from this. So if you're gonna film it, I would use the pole. Also, the GoPros get super muddy, so you have to make sure you keep washing off the lens every so often. They give you water cups to drink along the way, and I would drink about half of it and use the other half of the water to clean the camera, which is probably not good for dehydration, but great for a good shot on the GoPro. I've only ever done the Warrior Dash. I haven't done Tough Mudder or any of those other obstacle courses, so this is more specific to Warrior Dash. But at the Warrior Dash, they recycle shoes, which is really cool because you almost completely ruin your shoes when you do it. Kevin washed his shoes in the washing machine at the hotel we were staying at, and they actually are like pretty much brand new. But if you're not gonna have access to a washing machine immediately, they recycle your shoes because tons of people were throwing their shoes away. I got rid of my shoes. I ordered new ones to the house because they were just like soaked through with mud. And I had the New Balance Minimus shoes. They're like really thin fabric, and I just feel like I destroyed them. So everyone recycles their shoes there. If you're staying at a hotel, if you're flying to go do this obstacle, make sure you're staying somewhere with a washing machine if you want to keep anything that you wore during the race. Before I ran the race, I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to wear. I didn't know what the best thing would be. At first I was thinking I want to cover up a lot, like I want to wear leggings because I don't know what's in that mud. Like you're swimming through mud, like just giant puddles of mud. And I didn't want to get too scratched up or anything. And Kevin wore shorts and he did get a few scratches, but I found that most of the guys ended up just taking their shirts off because it just becomes very heavy with mud and uncomfortable. And I feel like the girls in sports bras and like shorts, like tight shorts, did the best. Like I feel like they were the most comfortable. And then at the end, they had a giant shower. Everyone's rinsing off. And if you have a bunch of clothes on, like I had leggings on and a big t-shirt, and you really don't get clean. You're just like soaking the muddy clothes that you already have on. So I feel like the people who wore less just were more comfortable in general. So I would say wear as little as possible. You have to wear clothes, obviously. I don't think there's a naked obstacle course yet. But for these ones, you have to wear clothes. So just like the tiniest clothes you have. My next piece of advice would be to be safe. I know these are professional, like organized races, but they're incredibly dangerous. You have to sign a waiver beforehand, and you have to be very concentrated. You're tired, your shoes are slippery, and you're doing these dangerous obstacles, and you can absolutely hurt yourself, injure yourself very badly. I saw a ton of people who had to be escorted off of the race because they'd hurt themselves, and you can actually drink before the race. You get free drinks after at the Warrior Dash, but some people drink before and stuff, but I would not recommend that. Like I know people who have been seriously injured from this, so it's not fun if you get hurt. They have a competitive heat. They have a competitive run at like earlier in the morning where people are actually going as fast as they can, and there's like a cash prize at the end. But if you're not doing that, I would not rush. I would just try to take your time and complete every obstacle. Something that's really cool about the Warrior Dash, I can't speak for all the obstacles, but the Warrior Dash is not extremely competitive. People were cheering each other on. Somebody fell on the side of this like muddy cliff, and everyone was cheering her on, like trying to help her up. People stopped to make sure she was okay. No one was trampling over anybody. People were making jokes. If you're somebody who's timid about competition, or if you've never done anything like this before and you're afraid to be competitive, this would definitely be a good first obstacle course, because it's almost like everyone in the race becomes your teammate and you're all trying to finish together. It definitely doesn't feel competitive, and you can skip any obstacle you don't feel comfortable doing. You can just literally run right around it and it's fine. My final piece of advice would be, if you can, to run with a partner, to not run by yourself, because even if you're pretty good, some of the obstacles are really difficult. Like, I tried to climb over this just pile of mud hill and it was just too slippery for me. I like couldn't even get a hold in, like I couldn't get my foot stuck into the hill long enough to climb up. And having my boyfriend Kevin there was great because he could just give me that extra push, and I'm still able to finish the obstacle. I don't have to skip it, but otherwise I would have been stuck there forever, or I would have given up and skipped it. So if you have a partner, just like a little bit of extra help really goes a long way. And it also is just fun to go through it with somebody, and you can laugh about things that happened, about falling in the mud, about funny things that happened along the race. And it helps to take footage of each other if you want to film it or take pictures. At the end of the Warrior Dash, we got awesome t-shirts. Here's the one from this year, 2015. I love it. It was so, it's so nice to change out of your muddy clothes into something clean. Definitely bring a change of clothes, but they also usually provide you with t-shirts at races, so you can always change into that. I hope some of that advice was helpful. I had no idea what I was doing going into the race, so even if you do none of that, you'll still be fine. But this will definitely make your race more enjoyable if you follow some of these tips. Let me know in the comment section if you've done obstacles before and there's any tip, like important tip that I missed. I definitely would be interested in doing one of these races again. They're just really fun. This Warrior Dash was in Joliet, Illinois. It was out on a huge farm property, so it was really cool scenery. We had a great time, but they do this stuff like all over the country. So see if they're doing one in your area. Maybe give it a try if you want to challenge yourself. Let me know how your experience has been in the past in the comments, and give me some ideas for videos you want to see in the future. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.